Vice President of Public Affairs for the Pillsbury Restaurant Group. Appreciate both of you being here. Barbara, start with you. Are consumers already starting to make choices because of the prices?
Yes, they are. They're going more for the, like our private brands and things like that, because actually it's a supply issue chain with, the problem with the chain is that we're not getting the product in. So they have to actually pick and choose what they're going to have.
Wow. All right. Rick, this is how the Biden administration goes after this. We understand that you are obviously pretty close with the meat industry. The Biden administration continues to blame the rising prices on 4 major meat packing companies: Cargill, Tyson's Food, JBSSA, and National Beef Packaging, which controls 80% of meat in the country. The meat processors are generating record profits during the pandemic at the expense of consumers, farmers, and ranchers. From a White House press release. Response.
Off base in a nutshell. The price of beef is as high as it is for a lot of reasons, starting with the drought in the West. Feed prices have gone through the roof. Corn and soybean prices are way up. If you want to add any blame to it, the Biden administration, which is suggesting that there isn't going to be very much fracking going on, and therefore natural gas prices are rising dramatically. Natural gas prices are a huge component of fertilizer, which is used for corn and soybeans. And so what you've really got here are cattle that are coming to market about 15% smaller than they have been in the past, because the drought means that grazing lands are much worse. You go to a feedlot, the feedlot prices are going up. Then, of course, you've got a lot of people with more money than they've ever had, and they haven't been going out. Entertainment costs are down. People are going to grocery stores, they're eating better, and there's a bigger demand for meat. And then go all the way back to COVID. And you've got fewer people who are willing to work in plants. The plants have had to change their production methods. People have to stand further apart from each other. That has created inefficiencies. They've got about a 20% fall off in people showing up for work.
Well, a tour de force of why meat prices are higher by Rick Berman. Barbara, I got to ask you, though, are we at the point where we're at shortages or just higher prices?
It's both.
And Rick made the point that people have a lot more money, so there is inflation going on, but people are spending more. Have you gotten to the point where some of your customers, though, are saying, I'm having to make difficult choices for my family?
No, not at that point. They're actually spending the money. They're paying the price for it. But part of the problem, too, is that when you talk, what Mr. Berman said, it's the price of fuel. We all get fuel charges tacked onto every bill, and that goes to the consumer. They're making probably smaller choices as far as they're not buying a bigger steak or anything like that, but they are making a few choices.
Barbara, I'm thinking about for you, and we're happy to have you, Happy Foods grocery store, not a household name, not one of the big groups. Is it a lot harder? Is it different for you guys than for the Safeways and the Walmarts and the Targets, the huge grocers?
Of course. I mean, as a small grocer, we don't get the buy-ins like they do. They buy big, and of course, like even now with the Christmas holidays and and Thanksgiving coming up, everything is allocated. So as a small store, we get smaller allocations.
Hey, Rick, I only got about 30 seconds, but where is the tipping point between rising prices and real shortages and problems?
Well, actually, the real shortages may have yet to be seen. When Biden put in this mandate that all federal employees are going to have a COVID shot, and they're now predicting that 1 million people are not going to go to work just over that one mandate issue. Well, some of those people are going to be the federal meat inspectors in those plants that you were talking about. So if those people stop showing up for work, then production gets slowed even further, and then the supply gets dropped, and the prices are going to go up. I don't see any way out of this, because the price of fertilizer and the price of corn and soybeans, they're still going up.
Yeah, no, for sure. Barbara, you mentioned fuel prices. The other place fuel prices affect people is just how much money they have to spend. At what point are people going to stop being able to absorb the increase in prices and have to start making decisions?
Probably when they fill their gas tanks up to go to the store. They're going to have fewer times that they come to us. And that's what we rely on, is the people coming in and shopping.
Wow. All right. Thank you both. Barbara, Rick, good to see you. We appreciate it. Thank you both. Fuel prices that Barbara was talking about and Rick mentioned is exactly where we're headed now. Gas prices have hit a new high, an average now of Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.